These prices are good for a day, week, a month, 6 months, all the way out to a year. Now, with your home, you have a 2,000 square foot house and a $250 power bill. And what I'm looking at here is I'm going to just make a recommendation to you. And as I mentioned to you, these prices are good for a year. Now, on the Attic Shield, which is our radiant barrier product, you have a 2,000 square foot home. And because of where the radiant barrier is installed up in the rafters, we use a 1.5 factor to determine how much material is going to be needed. So we take the 2,000 times 1.5, that equals 3,000 square feet. Now, our price for the home show and showroom is only $290 a square foot. Remember, the retail price for a decent contractor to come out would be about $4 a square foot. And so that number is going to be, and you do want to get a calculator to do these numbers, because if you're using your phone as a calculator, there's going to be constant distractions, constant notifications, constant phone calls. So the only time you should use your phone is when you're calling Melissa to, when you text on site, when you get to the property, when you're sitting at the table getting ready to do your presentation, you call Melissa and say, just want to let you know that I arrived okay. And then at that point, you don't want to use your phone again until you're doing a TO call or a discovery call.
Should we shut it off? Go ahead and shut off the ringer kind of thing, or?
Turn the ringer off so it doesn't distract you. Because when my ringer goes off, sometimes I think about it for 1/10 of a second and then I forget what I was talking about. And you definitely don't want to do that at this point in the game.
Right.
We're getting ready to talk about money.
Yeah.
And so we take that 3,000 times 290, and that's 8,700. It was $12,000 on the retail side. So our home show price is a good bit less than that. Now on the installation, the retail number was $2.50 a square foot. Our number is only $1.90. So that's based on just 2,000 square feet, because that's your heated and cooled square footage. If they had a garage, we would not be putting insulation over the garage in case it's a man cave, in case they're needing that garage cooled off. Just putting a radiant barrier over it's going to cool it off dramatically. So 2,000 square feet times $1.90, that's 3,800. I think it was 5,000 on the retail on the other side. And so the solar domestic hot water system is going to be $11,995. So it's $1,000 less than what the retail is. Radiant barrier, the Attic Shield is $8,700. The insulation is $3,800. Then the solar photovoltaic attic ventilation system is only $1,595, so that's a couple $100 less. The variable speed pool pump is $29.95, which is $500 less. And then we have 4 tons of Blue Max, which is $195. So 4 times 195 is $780. And then there's $1,400 for engineering, permitting, and installation. So I'll get you a total number on all that. 1,995 plus 8,700 plus 3,800. And be a customer for right now. Really look at this as if this is your house, your $250 power bill, your $150 worth of monthly waste. So that's going to be $31,265. If you remember on our other number, I think it was $36,420. That's about $5,000 less from the example that I did on the board earlier. I think it was $36,420.
$36,240.
$36,240 now. part of my ADHD.
Right.
So 31265, but you know, that's not why they sent me out here, Aaron. You know, actually what they sent me out here for is what we call our homeowner reaction report. And remember I told you I was in advertising and promotions, and this is, you know, this information is kind of vital to our company. As a matter of fact, this is how they compensate us. I get $75 for the first 3 in a day each. And if I can get up to 4 in a day, it goes up to $100. So some days I'll make about $400. Most days I make around $150 to $225. There's usually 2 or 3 homes that I get to, you know, visit with the people. But every now and then, and like today's one of those days where I'm on track to have a $400 day. So, you know, it's pretty rewarding when I'm out here and I get to meet people and help people. So I'm going to go ahead and time out. I'm going to okay it here. So I timed in, it was like 9:30, close to 10 o'clock, and now I'm timing out at 12:30. And today's date is the 17th. So this is Ash Wednesday for the Catholics, and yesterday was Fat Tuesday for those crazy people in New Orleans. And I have been there on Fat Tuesday. You need Ash Wednesday after Fat Tuesday, I promise you. So, and if you're having a good rapport with people, you just say that kind of stuff. And they go, yeah, you know, I can relate to that. And I have been, you know, on Bourbon Street, and there's a reason they call it Bourbon Street. It's just a 24-hour party, and it's not just on Fat Tuesday. It's about any time you're there. So I'm going to have their name and their address and zip code. And I timed out. Remember, I timed in at the energy survey when I first got there. So some people don't think this is important, and they're usually no longer with us.
Yeah.
Because if you take and with no experience in our business start changing our presentation, all you're doing is changing your paycheck.
Yeah.
That's what you're changing. And so if you just do the things that we say are the most important, which is about the entire presentation, but you don't have to have it 100%. You know, 80 to 90%. And in the beginning, it'll even be less than that. But, you know, I call the stage you're about to enter into ignorance on fire, where you only know enough to get through the presentation, but your enthusiasm will carry.
Yeah.
The last 4 letters, I am sold myself. This is our job here, is to sell you on this, so you can go sell them on it. And enthusiasm will carry you right through the sale, and it'll make them want it, because you never told them that you were selling anything. Mm-hmm. And they're wondering, just like you said, well, where can I get these products from? Well, remember, and I never said that, but we said so much. You know, in the 2-hour conversation we've been with them, they don't remember if we said it or not. So I said, remember when I told you that there's 3 ways you can purchase from us: home show, showroom, word of mouth advertising? Well, while I'm here, let me go ahead and show these home show, showroom prices. They're good for a day, week, a month, 6 months, all the way out to a year. So no pressure. Then we get the first price on the table, we turn the sheet over, and then we say, but that's not why they sent me out here. They sent me out here to get this thing here filled out, because part of advertising and promotions is a lot of information gathering. Now what I'm going to do is go through the first question with you, Aaron, then I'm going to begin packing up my stuff and getting out of your hair, okay? Now the first question is, after reviewing the energy analysis, I feel that saving money is A, a big priority, B, a priority, or C, not a priority. How would you answer that, Aaron?
A big priority.
Absolutely a big priority. And then to the significant other, we would say the same thing. And how would you answer that? And she would say A as well, typically. And that's how you fill that out. So what you have over here is you have the question, you have the big priority, a priority, or not a priority. If you would fill those out, at the very bottom it says what features appeal to you most. So if you would also write those down, and then just okay these at the bottom. You know, this is very helpful in the information gathering that we do as part of coming out here and doing the complimentary review for you. And then we would give this to them. And the main thing that you want to take out of the house is the thing that gets left in the house the most,
The light.
which is the light kit, I promise you. Because sometimes you do this in another room and you walk right out of there, or even it's just sitting to the side and you forget about it, caught up in the conversation. You just wrote them up, you just wrote up a $20,000 deal, you're all excited, you know, and you're halfway home, which is maybe an hour away from where you live, and you go, oh my goodness, I left my life kit in that other room. So this is the thing you want to take, and you want to have an extension cord, like John said, so that you don't have to use just not even 3 feet. That's about 18 inches long, you know, to plug it in, and that's not very convenient. And you want to have enough of an extension cord where you can put it up and they can see it. When you hit the temperatures, they can see that. But, you know, so you take this and you walk out of the house, and you don't want to smoke a cigarette. I know some of you are cigarette smokers. You know, some people are offended by cigarette smoke as much as you try to cover it up. So, you know, don't go out there and don't be out there that long. They say it takes like 7 minutes or 6 minutes to smoke a cigarette. You only want to be out there about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, and then come in and they'll be finishing this, but you just sit there quietly and let them finish it. And then once they finish it, come back in and you go over it. So, okay, Aaron says on here, now we went through the first question, doing my part to conserve our planet's resources. Now, you said that was a big priority. Now, why would you say that?
It's the only one we got, you know, and I see a bunch of crap happening in the world, and, you know, I try to do my best, and if I can do more,
Sure.
then.
Exactly. Now, and then we would say the same thing to the spouse, and then we would go back to the spouse first this time and say to her, now the United States dependence on foreign oil should be, and both of you said, a big priority. Now why would you say that? So, but if there is a wife involved, then you do that. And then, now one of the questions is the amount of money I feel an energy saving package would save my family every month is, and it has A100, B 75 to 99, C 50 to 74. What you would do is let them know that, you know, the $150 waste is actually what the savings would be if you invested in this. And so that, you know, you give them that before you leave, because otherwise they're guessing at how much it's going to save. And they may or may not have paid attention, and they may or may not have equated waste and savings. And so you actually say, now, if you did nothing, you'd be wasting $150, but if you invested in this package with the variable speed pool pump, you would actually be saving $150. And so they would put A on that one. And then it says, would you like to take advantage of a complete energy saving package in the future? And you also said yes on that one, Aaron. Now, were you serious about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And it also here on the bottom, it said, you know, save the planet and save money was what appealed to you most. And the wife said, you know, save money is what appealed to her most. You know, typically when I get to this point in the conversation, I'm packing up my things and leaving, because as I said when I first got here, if you qualify, we can show you how to save 20 to 50% off your power bill without taking money out of your pocket or affecting your budget. Many people don't qualify at this point, and we're just leaving. But as a matter of fact, you guys do qualify for the advertising program. And let me show you how exactly that works. Now, we're not asking you to donate a kidney or anything like that. You know, basically, what we do ask is an evaluation letter and a photo. And we also ask that you would go over to Google and just give us a 5-star review if we've earned it. We also ask for 3 homeowners that you would refer to us that also are paying a power bill, and we would just do the same thing for them, show them, you know, what they can do on their own to save money, and then show them, you know, what can be done based on what their home circumstances are. We also ask for cooperation on installation date and time. Now, what I mean by that, and I'll do this on the board, but you would do it on the back of the sheet, is what I mean by that. Did y'all get a picture of this?
I drew it down.
So, we have a clock here. Let's say I have a 7 a.m. job over here, and these were retail customers, and they paid $1,400 for our installation, engineering, and permitting. Now, what time should we show up if we have a 7 a.m. job?
7 a.m.
6:45, right?
6:45.
If you're not early, you're late. I say, we also had a job that we're gonna start at 4 PM in the afternoon, and they also paid the $1,400 for engineering, permitting, and installation. What time should I show up there?
2:45.
3:45, right? Yeah, you call it on.
Yeah.
If you're not early, you're late. Now, when I say cooperation, installation, date and time, this is the kind of scenario I'm talking about. Because typically these jobs take anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, the average job we do. And so, let's say that on this particular job here, that they started at 7 o'clock and they got through at 11 o'clock, then they're gonna sit for 5 hours before that next job happens. And we're doing all of our own installations, and I pay these people hourly, not by the job. And so basically, what I'm doing is paying for my crew to sit around and wait. So what we would ask you to do in this situation is to set up an install time. Now, we won't do what the cable company does, say be home all day. We'll be there some point. We just need a 2-hour window, like between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So what we would do is use your job as a filler, because we're not gonna charge you that $1,400 for the cooperation on installation date and time. And so we would use your job to fill in so that I'm not having to pay 3 or 4 or 5 people hourly for 5 hours to sit and wait. So would this be something you could help me out on? You know, so that we're not wasting money, that would make sense for us?
Yeah.
Cooperation installation.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem.
Okay.
We're retired, so.
Perfect, you'll be there.
Yeah.
Right? And then also, we'd like 2 copies of your power bill. We'd like one right now, and then we would also like one in about 60 days. So it's well outside of a billing period, so that we can see the kind of impact that our products are having on your home already.
Yeah.
And at the end of the conversation, we'd just like you to simply decline or accept the offer while I'm here. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay, beautiful. Now what I'm gonna do now is show you, you know, the discounts that are involved in this, because that is, you know, how we're able to save you money, is having people work with us on this particular program. As I'd mentioned to you when I first got here, I'm looking for 4 or 5 homes in every zip code in the city, qualifies for the advertising program, and you did, thank goodness. So on the solar domestic hot water system, the discount on that for word of mouth is $1,000, so that comes down to just $10,995. The discount on the Attic Shield, which is our radiant barrier product, is $500, so that brings that down to just $8,200. The discount on the insulation is the same, minus $500, and so from $3,800 down to $3,300. Now, on the solar photovoltaic attic fan, for your cooperation on the with the referrals and the homeowners and the photos, we're going to no charge you on the fan. So that's going to be a $1,595 discount, and that's called no charge. It's not called free, because we're attaching it to them helping us out on the advertising program. And on the variable speed pool pump, that's also going to be minus $500, and so that's $2,495. The Blue Max is $780. And then, as I'd mentioned just a few minutes ago, we're going to no charge you of the $1,400 for the installation, permitting, and installation. We're going to no charge you for your cooperation, installation date and time, and copies of the power bill. So that gives you a new number. Now the savings that are involved, $5,495 that you saved as for helping us out on the word of mouth advertising program. So you take the $31,265 and you minus $54,95, and that brings your new number down to just $25,770. Now, the 10-year number, if you recall when I showed you the chart, you know, it was based on a $250 power bill 10 years later, that's $60,911 that you're gonna spend over the next 10 years if it only goes up 15%. So that's $60,911. We have a package that the gold package with solar domestic hot water, the insulation, the superior attic shield, the solar photovoltaic attic ventilation system, and the variable speed pool pump. That's a 60% reduction. And so if you take that 60,911 times 0.60, that is $36,546 that would be wasted if you did nothing. And so your investment is $25,770. And so you take the $36,546 and you minus the $25,770. Over a period of the next 10 years, it's going to put $10,776 back in your pocket. Now, this is one of those crazy questions they pay me to ask you as well. Now, let me ask you this, Aaron. Does it make more sense to waste $36,546 or to invest $25,770 and put $10,776 back in your pocket?
To invest.
To invest, yeah. Now, can you go ahead and write me a check for that?
I could, but
Put it on a low interest credit card, you know, get the Sky Miles.
I mean, I could do that too.
Do that. Well, in other words, what you might be saying is that you could maybe use a little bit of help with the financing.
I mean, I'd rather use someone else's money
Yeah, of course.
than use mine.
Now, if I can show you how you could have all these products installed, and so we turn over here to our gold package. And what I'm talking about is your solar domestic hot water system, the superior attic shield, which is our radiant barrier product, the superior blown-in insulation, superior solar attic ventilation system, and the variable speed pool pump. And it doesn't take any money out of your pocket, not today, not next week, not next year, not ever. And you're thoroughly convinced in your mind these products that do what I say. I can demonstrate it for you on paper, and you can look at that number and you can see just as clear as a bell, and just as clear as you're looking at me right now, that this is really a solid investment for you. At that point, and only at that point, can earn your business today.
I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. And then, you know, one of the most rewarding points in my entire process here, in this entire demonstration, is that there's a whole other side to this equation. You know, the federal government's going to pay for 26% of this project.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good.
And so I'm not going to go into the back page pricing yet, but we're just going to stop it at the front. Now, is that impressive or what?
That's impressive, man.
Is
It
that
really
26%, that's across the board, no matter who you're showing this to, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, not everybody, you have to have a tax debt to have a tax credit. Not everybody's paying taxes, but most people that think they're not paying taxes are actually paying taxes. So we don't want to get into the accounting business. Here's the only thing that changes. If they qualify for the tax credits, it's going to pay for itself in about 7 years. If they don't qualify for the tax credits, it's going to take about 10. The key is that it pays for itself.
Yeah, either way.
Phil, because this is showing you that it's paying for itself in 10 years. Now, this is our retail prices, by the way. $25,770 is a retail number for us. This is an inflated number.
Sure.
Every one call close
Yeah.
company has to have a call to action.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
This $5,495 is our call to action. This is our discount for today. So if they roll at this price, then they would be putting $10,000 back in their pocket in the next 10 years. So that shows you that it's going to pay for itself in less than 10 years. If it's putting $10,000 back in your pocket inside of 10 years, it's going to pay for itself somewhere in about 8 or 9. If you have the tax credits, it's going to pay for itself in about 7. Off of a $250 power bill, you know, they only have $100 left. They're saving $150. So you're either wasting $150 and you're wasting $36,000 over the next 10 years based on that 15% increase, or you're saving $150 and then in 7 or 8 years this thing's going to pay for itself.
Do people ever put these things in new builds?
Pardon me?
Do people ever put them in new builds, the whole package?
In new homes?
Yeah, in a new build.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do, but they don't, you know, we don't do commercial.
Yeah, I figured it'd be
We
hard to
don't-
sell.
Because and we've had a lot of home builders approach us and act like they were gonna use us to do all of it, but all they did was learn from us and cut us out,
Yeah,
and to waste our time.
makes
So
sense.
we don't try to go to home builders. We don't do, the only commercial business we do are homeowners that we've sold,
Right,
because they trust us.
yeah.
Because otherwise, commercial is like, it goes to the lowest bidder many times, or the middle bidder, you know, they got the high, the low, and the one in the middle. But, you know, it's getting to the decision maker, number one, and then number two, it's, you know, waiting in line, and then getting into a bidding war. We never get into a bidding war here, but let's say somebody says, well, I really want to shop around. And I say, well, okay, Eric, well, now when you say you want to shop around there, how long is that going to take you? Say 3 days or 5 days, maybe 2 weeks? How about if I gave you 30 days to shop till you drop in?
Okay,
Would that work for you?
yeah.
Okay. Well, here's how, this is how the project moves forward. We're gonna go ahead and fill out all the paperwork today. We're gonna get everything installed for you. We're gonna take this form right here, it's called our apples to apples price match guarantee. And basically what it says, if you can find a legit company like ours, that's been around a while, that meets these qualifications, it must have a physical office, they must offer the same or higher quality material, workmanship, and warranties. They must pay workman's compensation, have a minimum of $1 million of general liability, which we bring $2 million to the table. They must have a Florida contractor's license, which we're a general contractor. I could build a home from the ground up, 3 stories high if I wanted to,
Right.
but I don't want to.
Right.
And the system must be SRCC rated and approved, and it must qualify for the tax credit. So those are the qualifications for our word of mouth, for the apples to apples price match guarantee. So basically, we'll give you their price. If they can provide as good a better product and they're a legit company, we'll give you their price less 10%. No matter what they say,
Yeah,
we have a comeback.
okay.
We have a way of overcoming that objection because they're already spending the money.
Yeah.
Do you want to continue wasting or do you want to invest? Now, I did not try to sell you guys at any point. I allowed you to purchase, and when you purchased was when I said, does it make more sense to waste $36,546, and hear how I said that, or invest $25,770, play that number down, to put $10,770 back in your pocket over the next 10 years? What makes more sense to invest? Can you go ahead and write me a check for that? And listen to my tone. Now, some people will become a cash buyer right there, and they'll pay cash because you ask them for it. And we really weren't even intending to even try to get them to pay cash. I say it almost jokingly with a smile on my face, you know, go ahead and put it on a credit card, get the Sky Miles. So really, in other words, what you're saying is maybe you just need a little help with the financing. Watch my head. So if I can show you how you can have all these products installed and then take any money out of your pocket, not today, not next week, not next year, not ever, and you're thoroughly convinced in your mind these products will do exactly what I say. I can demonstrate it for you on paper, and you can look at that and see just as clear as a bell, clear as we're looking at each other right now, that this is good for you and good for your family. Then and only then, at that point, can earn your business today.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Now, can we get a copy of that so we can have those drops, the price drops that you use?
Of course not.
No? Okay.
Well, you think I'll try to give you something that's gonna help you?
Right.
We're not in that business.
Yeah,
I'll buy it tomorrow.
No, yeah, I'm gonna give you all this. In fact, everything I just said is on a piece of paper over here.
Okay.
I'm not expecting you to hear it on the video and memorize it from there. We're gonna give you everything you need. We're gonna go through, you know, how to do this price. I'll give you a copy of this one so that you can see the discounts that I put there, and that's a good idea. haven't had anyone ask for one. But I'll make a copy of this one, because this is all the discounts. And these discounts never change.
Yeah.
And if you come at us with a number lower than this, we're gonna be asking you why.
Oh,
I promise you, John's gonna bust you out. And we even have a close called the bust out close. And this is how that would go. Say we're at the end and they all of a sudden start changing their mind on us. Gotta have a good rapport with people to do this one. You know, if they're not liking you, and you can tell when somebody's not with you,
Yeah.
and they're just like waiting for you to leave. You know, for some reason, they're not buying. Now, sometimes you get into a home, and these people they just got through, literally almost in a physical fight, because of this appointment, or sometimes because of other things. Sometimes, they're sleeping in separate bedrooms, and their marriage is over. And, why they even do an appointment like this is because they're thinking of selling the home, and they're thinking, well, if we do some of this stuff, this is gonna help us. So we don't know what's going on in their world. Sometimes they will tell us, but we really don't know all the stuff that's happening. And so this is why we don't close 100%, because we're not doing all of that investigative stuff before we even go to the house, because we'd never have any appointments for you. Now, John said we can only pull, might have 8 or 10 appointments for the day if we're super qualifying people, and we have done it that way. And we found that the best way for that to occur is for us to give you 20 appointments where you get in 12, where you present 6, 8, 10 of them, and you sell 2 to 4, and you make $150,000 a year. And all the stuff that didn't happen is just bugs on the windshield. That's how we found that we can best help the people that are going to allow us to help them. They're the ones with the problem. And guess what? If they tell us no, what we're going to do? We're going to walk right out of their house. And just like John did the other day, the people weren't home, so he walked across the street and sold the neighbor. The guy's outside, cutting his grass. Hey, you like saving money? I mean, what an opening line, right?
Right.
We didn't train him to say that, by the way. He just ad-libbed that one. But it's a great opening line. Hey, you like saving money? And usually what I ask people first, like if I'm standing in line at the grocery store or at the bank, and I'll say, are you a homeowner? And then usually, they got no reason to lie to me. But, some don't want to tell you anything. And then I say, well, yeah, I'm a homeowner. Do you like saving money? Well, yeah, I like saving money. Well, that's the business I'm in. Kind of like the business I'm in is like, if I were selling you $100 bills for $80, how many would you like to have? Just as many as I got, right? That's the business I'm in. I'm in the energy conservation business, and I can show you literally how to get $100 bills for $80 all day long. Now, can't go into that here standing in the bank. I need to take a look at your house. But, that short of a conversation can get you into a home with a 50% raise, an extra 5%, just for instead of standing there shooting the shit.
Oh, you get 15 off of a one? If
You
you
get
go
15% off of all self-gens and all referrals and all door hangers. You put a door hanger out with your code on it, and they call into our number, we set the appointment, it's your appointment, you go out and run it, it gets approved and sold, you get 50% more for that too. Anything you do extra, we're gonna compensate you for. Now, say you're working for $20 an hour for somebody, which none of us would want to do, but you're working for $20 an hour, you go up to your boss and say, hey, if I do a little extra tomorrow, will you give me $30 an hour? He's gonna start laughing at you.
Yeah.
Well, you should be doing a little extra anyway so you can keep your job.
Yeah.
But we're gonna give you 50% more just for doing a little bit of extra. And these are the people that make the 150 to 200. Because if you have 1 to 2 sales a month that go in that are 15% deals, you're gonna make an extra $50,000. At the end of a year, you'll make a minimum of an extra $50,000. Because a $10,000 deal is every 10,000 is gonna pay you 1,000 until you are self-genuine, and then every 10,000 is gonna pay you 1,500. And so $20,000 deal is 3,000. $30,000 deal is 4,500. I mean, how many times did that have to happen before you made yourself an extra 10 grand, an extra 50,000 for the year or more?
Right.
And if you get really good at harvesting referrals, the only person easier to sell than a referral is a happy customer. And every one of these people that aren't investing in solar, just like with these people here in this scenario, they have a $250 bill. We just took care of 150 of it, that leaves 100. Now, how much PV are they gonna need to have a 90 to 95% savings, based on what I told you earlier?
A whole lot less.
Yeah, but how much will they? I gave you the formula. They have a $100 bill. How much will each kilowatt generate?
$25.
$25.
So
Both of you are giving me a blank.
Yeah, 4 kilowatt.
This is a very, very important part of the scenario.
Yeah.
So now, they have $100 left. You say, hey, you come in. $25 per kilowatt, he got it right. So now it's a 4 kW system, and so you get it all signed, sealed, delivered, you write this package up. You write this package up, and then you say, well, I feel it an obligation there and to let you know what your next step needs to be. Otherwise, in a few years, your power bill is going to go right back up because of all these increases. You have $100 left. We've installed thousands of these PV systems. We know that every kilowatt's going to generate about $25 worth of electricity. Now, we are purposely undersizing your system a little bit. You know, like Duke Energy says that number is really 20. But we ramp it up a little bit because we don't want to overproduce, because if you're overproducing in your energy, you're going to be giving free energy to the power company. And if I remember your answer, when I asked you, are you okay, concerned, angry, or furious, you said you were angry at the power company. And we do get that a lot. So we know you don't want to give them any free energy.
No.
So we're going to purposely undersize the system for you. But I'm just going to let you know, just so you know what to do in the future, you know, what it's going to take to get a 90 to 95% reduction in your power bill. And then you run the numbers and you show them that number, and some will right there. I mean, some would say, well, 90 to 95% sounds a whole lot better than 60. I'm ready to go for this now.
Yeah.
And if they don't, now they know what it's going to be in the future.
Yeah.
And this is going to be either a PV cell now or a PV cell in the future if you hang around. And within 6 months to a year, you can go back to that same person and say, well, you see, this is working for you. It's not saving you 60%, it's saving you 65 or 70% because we're under-promising and over-delivering. So now they see that they only have a $90 bill left, and so now we put in a 3.5 kilowatt system. We say we're going to look at this over a 6 month, maybe a year period, see exactly how many kilowatt hours you're currently using, and we'll show you how many panels we need to add to literally net you out to where all you're paying at the end of a year is your connection fee to the power company. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to experiment with your money. We're going to purposefully undersize the system a little bit so that we can top you off later. And then they're going to look at you like, well, you're really looking out for me, aren't you? You're purposefully undersizing the system so that we don't give free power to the power company.
Yeah.
And a number of people are going to just see you're selling from the heart instead of from the wallet. And we typically sell our PV at around $4.30 to $4.50 a watt. We start at $5, and then it goes down to $4.50. $4.50 for our word-of-mouth advertising. And so, you know, our opening numbers, so we're at a 4,000 watt system. We price it we sell it by the kilowatt, but we price it by the watt. And so 4,000 watts times 450 would be 18,000. So you have, you know, 25,000 plus 18,000. So now your sale is 43,000. So you either have $2,500 or $4,300 that you're going to earn at this home. And you've showed them what their move they can make in the future, or the move that they can make now. And you know, have not because you ask not. If you do this, and not everyone do you need to get into this conversation with, But you're gonna see you got the rapport, and the people may have even said, you know, I've been wondering about the solar electric. And we let them know that we have it, but we're not offering it to them.
Right.
Because this is your first logical, best step that you need to take in order to take the biggest bite. And so instead of trying to generate electricity to waste it, now if we were just taking that off of a $250 power bill and we divide that by 25, that's 10 kilowatts. So that's 10,000 watts. And, you know, at
$45,000.
yeah, it's 45 grand, so it's more, but their power bill is gonna continue to go up because they have deteriorating appliances.
Right.
The air conditioner's worn out, you didn't put any Blue Max in it, the attic is 150 degrees, the hot water heater's still the biggest energy waster in the home, so, you know, their power bill's gonna keep going up. This is why I tell people that if you see solar panels on a house, go knock on that door, because they still have $130 to $150 to $200 power bill. They were lied to. A lot of the people selling solar aren't even going to the homes. They're just doing a pre-site and looking at a copy of the power bill and seeing how many kilowatt hours they're using and just generating electricity to waste it. And they're kind of giving our industry a black eye. They're kind of like the con man car salesman, you know, used car sales people that are just, you know, doctoring up cars and selling them to people knowing that, you know, they're going to have trouble in the future. You know, that's what these people are that are selling solar electric and not doing conservation first. But there's so many of those people out there that they got to that they're good prospects for us.
Yeah.
You know, if you see solar panel, you know, just stop and knock on that door. And just, I'm with Green Energy Solutions, in fact, we have a canvas and script that I'll send over to you that John learned while he was a canvasser with Dynasty Solar. So, I mean, the way the whole close works, you know, where you bring it down, you go from the pricing that we gave them initially, you know, the first prices they saw on the price shield, I think it was 36,000, and this one's 31, and then now the word of mouth is 25. If you called for a TO on a $25,000 number, depending on, you know, because I don't like being on speaker. Personally, I like talking to the rep and have the rep do the talking. I have a copy of this TO script that's done two ways. One way is with the person doing the TO, saying, put them on speaker and let me talk. And the other is the way I like doing my TOs, which is the way I did Alex's.
No, that makes sense too, if you're talking through the rep, because they've already got all the rapport and everything.
Exactly. And so what I'm doing is saying to you, and then he turns around and says, well, I got my director on the phone. He says, you can't make any promises, but because you're gonna be willing to help us out with the advertising program, he's gonna go ahead and call over to commercial and see if he can get you qualified for commercial pricing now. He's not sure that anything's available, but if it is, and he can come back with a number that's significantly better than this 25,770, we'll be able to learn your business. And don't keep hounding the word today. We're gonna say today the first time. You know, if I can show you how I can have all these products installed, can earn your business today. When you're doing the TO, you don't have to say today again.
Yeah.
They know what you mean.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so, but if I can come back with a number that's significantly better than this 25,770, you hear how I'm talking?
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be up there, you gotta be broadcasting. We're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
It's showtime when we walk into that.
Like, this is news to me. If we could come back with something significantly better, oh yeah.
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 And then when you get the number, you go, really? Oh, wow. Amazing. So we probably come back with a number, anywhere from 3, 4. And if we're hearing, like if they're saying something, there's no price you can give me today that I'll make a decision on. We're gonna drop to under 20,000. We're gonna do, 19 something. We're gonna do a pretty significant drop, and we're gonna make him eat those words.
Yeah.
Because they'll see that price and they go, you know what? And it's not like, I just won. This isn't wrist wrestling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you just make it real easy for them Typically, at this point, we've probably already pulled out our credit app and we started trying to fill it out, and they stopped us. So whenever you do something like that, and then you say, well, so basically, because you guys are going to help us out with the advertising program, he did find a commercial project here, and it's about 150,000 square feet of barrier, and 50 solar domestic hot water systems, and 50 fans, and so price is, it's only going to be $19,900. Now, what was your middle initial there? And go right back to your credit app.
Yeah.
Don't say, do you want it? You want to go ahead and move forward? Come on, make it easy for them. Just go, oh, now what was your middle initial? Now I got the addresses, here's 123 Laydown Lane. And, and what?
Doug Phil.
And who was your mortgage company, and how much is your mortgage, and how much do you owe on it? You just start asking the questions, and as long as they're giving you the answers, they're buying. If not, well then you figure out what's holding them back.